Hi, and welcome back to another Saturday car conversation. Again, I hope you all had a wonderful week. I know my week is always great. No matter what's going on in life, my week is going to be great anyhow. Why? Because I choose for it to be that way. So let's jump into today's topic because today we're going to be talking about, are you accommodating something that wasn't meant to be? Let me say that one more time for somebody in the back of the room that didn't hear me. Are you? I'm asking you now, not me, but I'm asking you. Not don't look around. You right there. I'm asking you. Are you accommodating something that wasn't meant to be? So, to accommodate means to provide a place to live or to be stored in. Most of us, we know what that means, right? But I said that for a reason because I'm getting ready to go into 4 reasons why you should stop accommodating something that wasn't meant to be. So number one, it no longer benefits you, your purpose, you or your purpose. If you are accommodating something and it no longer benefits you or your purpose, you need to let it go. Stop holding on to it. Okay, stop holding on to it. If you have that car that you just absolutely love and you have put so much money into that car, and every time it breaks down, you have to drop out a couple of grand here, a couple of grand there. You're accommodating something that no longer serves you or your purpose. It's now time to let it go. Why? Because the value has long since depreciated. So you're just continually dumping money into something because it's paid for. And see, I can speak from experience on that one because I've done that before. Only one time, and I learned my lesson. Okay. Number two, fear is now what motivates you, not love. So if you're holding on to someone in a relationship, a lot of times it's that fear that has you holding on. It's not love. Because the love you had for that individual, honey, that went out the window a long time ago. You're afraid. And you might be saying, Michelle, well, what am I afraid of? I'm not afraid. Yes, you are. I'm not saying you're afraid of that individual. Now, sometimes that is the case where people hold on to folk because they're afraid to let them go because y'all know they're a little nutty in the mind. But so you're afraid to let them go for that reason. But most times you are afraid because you don't want to be alone. And you say, well, you know what? I'm gonna stick with Bobby. I'm gonna stick with Judy because they're not perfect. They get on my last good nerve, my last good sanctified, soul saving nerve. But I'm gonna keep them. Why? Because I'm afraid to be alone. So you figure the devil that you know is better than the one that you don't know. And in some cases, that is a true statement. But when it comes to relationships, honey, you've got to let fear go. You have got to let fear go, and you let that person go if they no longer serve a purpose in your life. And truthfully, if you're not in love with that person, you really need to let them go because they need to move on and find someone that's truly going to love them, number one. But you deserve to be loved and to have love returned to you just as that person does, okay? Number three, you no longer have inner peace. Ooh, some of y'all holding on to something and it's messing with your inner peace. I don't know about you, but I love my inner peace. I'm not holding on to anything that disrupts my inner peace. I refuse to. And the famous words of Medea, I keeps me some peace. Now I don't have a gun, and I'm not interested in having one, but I'm gonna keep me some peace. What you will not do is bring civil unrest into my life because I'm not having it. I will have peace in my life. You may not want it in yours, and that's fine with you. That's fine with me. If you like it, I love it. But I will have peace in my life, and I mean that. If I have to cut everybody off, then guess what? That's what I'm going to do because I will have peace in my life. See, because I'm not afraid to be by myself. Because truthfully, I'm never alone. I have a close-knit family. You know, I have a significant other that loves me in spite of me sometimes. And I know sometimes I get on his last good nerve, and that's all right. Because you know what? That's what I'm supposed to do. But otherwise, I'm going to have me some peace. I'm not afraid to be alone because I have too many people in my life, even if they are not in my life in the physical sense now that we are in the state that we're in and we're not doing the social gathering. But I have Facebook friends, I have Instagram friends, and I have a lot of acquaintances. I have my true inner circle of friends, but I have acquaintances. So I am never going to be afraid to be by myself. And number four, your heart and your head want something else. Do you know how awful it is to be in a relationship with something, or just have a relationship with something or someone when your heart and your head want something else. Do you know how awful that is? When you, and I know we all have experienced it before, when you're in a relationship with somebody and your heart, and so you're in a relationship with Craig, but your heart and your mind says you really want to be with Scooby, whoever that may be, okay? And I'm just making these names up, so y'all don't think I'm talking about anybody, because I'm not. But I said all that to say this: you have got to go with what is going to bring you inner peace, and what's going to make you happy. There's nothing worse than holding on to something or someone when your mind and your heart want to be with something else or somebody else. Okay, let me do a quick recap, and I promise I'm gonna let you be. So today we talked about what it means to accommodate something, and I said it means to produce a place to live or to be stored in. And so I gave you 4 reasons why you have got to stop accommodating things that just weren't meant to be. The first thing I said was it no longer benefits you or your purpose. Okay, that's self-explanatory. If you come into my life and I find that you are draining my energy, draining my will to live, draining my will to do anything, draining my pocket, you got to go. I'm not going to keep accommodating you. For what reason? Number 2, fear is now motivating you and not love. You're staying with that person out of fear, and again, not necessarily being afraid of them, but because you're afraid that you're going to be alone. You're afraid that it's going to be a while before somebody else comes into your life, or afraid that somebody else is not going to want to put up with your stuff. Well, then fix your stuff, and then you can stop being afraid. Number 3, you no longer have inner peace. Like I said before, Michelle will have peace. You know, there will be peace in my house, and there's going to be peace in my life because I refuse to have it any other way. And then the 4th thing I said was your heart and your head, they want something else. There's nothing worse. That's just like me. Let's just say my heart and my head want a, I'm going to say, Corvette. And one time it really did, y'all. But when you have arthritis in your knees, that's not the most practical car to have. But I digress. So let's say my heart and my head wants a Corvette. But I go to the dealership, because if you know me, then you know I'm a Chevy girl. I go to the dealership and I say, okay, you know what? I'm going to settle for the Chevy Cruze because it's a lot cheaper and probably much better on gas. Now, I'm not being true to myself. Well, first of all, let me not never say never. That would not be my first choice to buy a Chevy Cruze, although there's nothing wrong with them. It's just a little too small for me. But I said all that to say this. That's the same thing. If my head and my heart want that Corvette, but I go and settle for a Chevy Cruze, that's a problem because I'm not truly happy because the Cruze is not really what I wanted. I wanted the Corvette. So I'm just trying to give you a little point of reference there. So that's all I have, you guys. I want to say thank you so very much for giving just a little bit of your time. And I want you to really look at your life, y'all. Look at your life and see if you are accommodating something or someone, and it's time to let that thing go. Okay? It's time to let that go because you need to be happy. And you can't do that when you're holding on to something that you really should have let go a long time ago. And dare I say it, you shouldn't have picked it up to begin with. But that's a whole other video for a whole nother time. Again, thank you so much to my new subscribers. Thank you so much to those who continue to support me in all that I do. I love you guys to the moon and back, and y'all know the drill. There's nothing you can do about it. Absolutely nothing, because I'm going to love you regardless. I'm going to love you when you're going up. I'm going to love you when you're coming down. I'm going to love you when you're going in. I'm going to love you when you're coming out. But most importantly, I'm going to love you when nobody else even likes you. Always know that Michelle has your back, and you can count on me. Till next time, take care.